what is valuation in a layman's term. And you have also mentioned that you have applied into multiple companies. So if you could just name some of the important companies for students or people, those who want to apply here.
I went on LinkedIn, did all my research, talked to people, gave 4 to 5 interviews, secured offer letter from all of those firms.
Any pro tip or advice you would love to give to our audience so that they can also get into valuation? Hello and welcome to this podcast series where we are going to be discussing about a lot of technical concepts, and today we are going to be discussing about valuation domain. We have one of our students joining in. She is working into valuation. She's going to be guiding us how to get into this domain, what all interview questions are asked, any special and pro tips which are needed to get into this domain, and of course, what is the salary offered in this domain. So we have Ritika with us joining in today for this podcast. Thank you, Ritika, for joining in.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So, Ritika, we just wanted to know your journey, that how you landed up into a valuation domain from completing your CA journey out and getting into valuation.
So after my 12th standard, I decided to pursue for my CA while I was also doing BCom. And then I was not a first attempt chartered accountant. It took multiple attempts for me. In IPCC, I took 2 attempts. In CA final also, I took 2, or we can say 3 attempts. And then I completed my CA in May 2023. And then after that, I decided that, you know what, I want to study further. I want to do an MBA. I'll give my CAT exam. But then one thing I realized while I was studying for my CAT exam is that I am kind of tired by studying. So after my November, in November, they keep the CAT exams. After that, I decided that, okay, you know what, I need to start working because I missed my articleship days also. I missed working. So in December, I joined your GIR batch and to understand which domain I really like. And my first priority after understanding all the various kinds of domains, what was the kind of work that they do, I decided that I want to go for valuations. Then I went on LinkedIn, did all my research, talked to people, gave 4 to 5 interviews, secured offer letter from all of those firms. And then I decided to finally join Grant Thornton. And now it's been 3 months and I am working as a valuation consultant in Grant Thornton.
Great. So just for the audience, those who are watching, and a lot of students have this perception regarding if you have taken a lot of attempts or if you are a ranker, only rankers will get it, or if you have a lot of attempts, you'll not get it out, or you need to have a very specific articleship exposure into valuation side, or you need to have a very special exposure into fields related to this. So what's your perception regarding this?
Initially, even I thought, after talking to people that, you know what, only AIRs, only rankers, first attempt people, that's what they take. But that is not at all the reality. If your resume is good enough, if you have good communication skills, if you have good, concept wise, you're clear in your interview, then you're good to go. I have taken multiple attempts. My articleship was purely 3 years I did indirect taxation that was nowhere related to valuations. But still, it was never a hurdle in the whole process as such. They never asked me, no one asked me how many attempts I took. I know that, you can figure that out from the resume and all of that, but no one specifically asked me the number of attempts or asked me okay, you're an IDT, so how come you're shifting to valuations or all that. So if your basic concepts are clear about the topics that are to be studied for the valuation interview and the domain in general, then I think you're good to go.
Got it. Great. Now, for the audience, those who are watching in, if you could just summarize what is valuation in a layman's term.
So, as the word valuation suggests, we are putting a value to something, be it tangible assets, intangible assets. We are valuing businesses or, goodwill, trademarks, brand, or even land or property. So, when you are basically quantifying something to know how much it's worth, that is valuation in layman's term.
So Ritika, now imagine if someone wants to build his or her career into valuation, what all things he need to have in his resume if he or she wants to build his career into valuation domain?
Hmm. So I think the first process of any shortlisting is the resume round. Here, like we really have to give this thing importance as such. So in my resume, I had various certifications which was relating to valuations. Like I did my financial modeling course. There were certain keywords which is also required so that they can understand that we are inclined towards the field valuation, because being a CA fresher, like if we talk about the CA, the domain as such. So being a CA fresher, the word CA, like people think, okay, it is enough. But when we are talking about valuation or something like that, they would need those specific keywords. They would need those, the what do you say, the courses and all of that. So I did financial modeling course, and then I used various words like the investment banking capstone project, which is provided by CMO Kulni. And so these were the things that I added specifically in my resume. And I also did this that was suggested by the Shivam sir only, that we can make an extra, we can show some extra work of ours. So I made the ITC share price analysis report. So that also used to, that was also very helpful in the resume round. And then while I was circulating my resume, I used to circulate my work. So that used to give me an added advantage, I guess. So those are the things that is needed.
Got it. Great. So it's very
Yeah.
important to have your resume customized when you're going to be applying for jobs, either it is valuation or equity research. They're going to be checking, are you genuinely interested? And definitely you need to have some great exposure. Not during your articleship, it's fine, but after that, you can definitely do some courses, right, which is relating to financial modeling, which is going to be helping you out. Now, coming
Yeah.
to the area, right, since you're spending your entire day into valuation, so how does your typical day looks like?
I'm like, it's been 3 months for me in GT valuations as such. When we are, if we are doing, for example, business valuation, so for us, the client would send us the projections. If we want to value a business, for example, so the client would send us his or her like projections, like what is the how much income the client is able to generate in the next 7 years or the next 10 years as such. We don't do that part. We don't do the projections part. We try to gain confidence in those projections. So then we'll analyze all those projections. We will ask our queries to the client that, okay, why is the revenue declining, or why is the EBITDA increasing so suddenly, and all of that. So the client answers all of these questions, and once we have that understanding that, okay, we are confident about those projections, then we build a WAC, which is weighted average cost of capital. Then we go through the DCF. We basically, these are the concepts that it is needed for the interview part also, and for the basic working also. Then we build a WAC, we discount these projections, we build DCF, and that's how we, at the end of the day, value a business. So that's how, like, most of our work looks like. This is like, I'm not going into detail as such over here, but this is like an overview of how our day-to-day activities it looks like.
And you have also mentioned that you have applied into multiple companies. So if you could just name some of the important companies for students or people, those who want to apply here.
Yeah, so we have the big six. We can go for the big six. Then there are other firms also, like there's MK Global, there is RBSA, MSEC. Then there are small firms also that we can venture into, like there's Ruby Consulting. Then if we are looking towards the equity research side, then Motilal Oswal. So there are a lot of, like, I think you had provided us with an Excel sheet of a list of, I think, 25 to 30 companies. I used to maintain a tracker. I had applied in every of those companies, and I used to make a tracker that, okay, resume sent, okay, no response from here, and all of those. The status I used to put in that tracker. So yeah.
Okay, got it. Now, what all things are asked in an interview, and what is the typical process of interview? So initially, I want you to cover the process of this interview for valuation, and then we'll come
Hmm.
to the
Hmm.
interview questions.
Mhm. So it is like any other interview process. First, the HR is going to call you. The HR is going to take the background check. She's going to ask you that, currently where are you working somewhere? You're a fresher. Only basic and general questions. Where are you based out of from? So these things will be asked in your first HR round. Then they will schedule a technical round. Then after the technical round, if uh, there are a lot of people interviewing, then there can be two technical rounds as such. The first technical round, like as per my experience, it is usually based on the bookish knowledge, and the second technical round is usually a practical one. So then after these technical rounds, there is the partner round, and then salary negotiation and location and all of those things. So the typical process.
Mostly it's gonna be 3 stages or 2 stages. First HR, then manager and director or a partner round is gonna be there.
Yeah.
Now coming to one of the favorite and important question which most of them want to listen, and that is of course I know people are waiting to know the salary, but definitely guys will come to that question. But what all questions or what type of questions are gonna be asked, and what is something which we need to prepare before we are gonna be going for this interview?
So I have actually made a list of all the topics that we can study for evaluations. These are the things that I collected from, I used to speak to a lot of people on LinkedIn, so they used to help me out with the different types of topics that we can cover for. So beta, then there is VAC, then different types of valuations like DCF, company comparable, present transactions. Then most favorite question of every interviewer is DCF VAC walkthrough. So, walk through the whole DCF process. What are the stages in DCF? This is like one of the most favorite questions. Then ratio analysis. If you're a commerce student, we have been studying this from 11th standard. So ratio analysis is also one of the most important thing that we can study. Then the normal one, what is the difference between FCFF and FCFE, free cash flow to firm and free cash flow to equity. Then then equity value, enterprise value. Then maybe they can go towards Index 103 business combination. They can talk about what is PPA, purchase price allocation. Then as a CA fresher, we can brush up through leases and revenue and all of these things, but I don't think revenue is needed as such, but maybe leases they can ask. And these are the different types of topics that we can cover for. And for interview questions, like I said, DCF walkthrough is the most important one. Everyone is going to ask this question. It is like the most favorite one for the interviews.
Got it. So are there going to be any case study questions, or do you remember any of the case study question which was asked to you during your interview?
I think one question that I was asked was, it was related to ratio analysis. The interviewer asked me that if you have only like the financial statements of two companies and you want to invest in like any one of the company, you're an investor. So which financial metric would you use to understand that which company is better and which one would you want to invest in? So then I realized that it's a ratio analysis question, and then I answered the question that okay, we can use the return on capital employed ratio and all of that. So this was a very different question, and I think this was the most unique case study question that was asked out of all the interviews that I have given.
Since you have been working here, right, and you have given multiple interviews, so what is a typical salary range offered in valuation domain?
So for a fresher, typical salary range would be around 7.5 to 10. It really depends. Like the big six and the big four usually go around 9 to 10, and the smaller one goes around like 7.5 to 9. So this is the range.
Okay, got it. And so do you guys get a chance to visit to client place, or it's gonna be work from office?
For GD, it is work from home currently, and no, like there's no need for us to go to client place as such.
Okay, got it. Now, since you're working into this domain, so what is the best thing which motivates you to work in valuation?
I think the best thing is the kind of knowledge that we gain. So the whole merger and acquisition, whatever is happening around the world, what kind of mergers are happening, acquisitions are happening, and valuing the business as such. So every day we come to know something new. Every day we are tackling something new. So I think the learning process is really good here.
So, Ritika, you were a part of a GR batch and also you have completed a financial modeling with us. So, what is the best thing you liked about this?
I think the best thing that I liked about the JR batch was how you guys taught us the importance of networking, how it is so important to actually speak to people so that we can grab the best opportunities that is out there. Even like with the people in the batch, we networked well with them also, and even with the outside world on LinkedIn and everything. The whole process that you taught us, that how to approach people, how to talk to them, what are the different ways that we can get those opportunities in hand. So that was the best part that I learned from the GIR batch. And for the financial modeling, I think it was very useful for me going into valuations, because all of the basic concepts that the interviewers really require from us, all of those basic concepts was covered in the whole financial modeling course. So that was a great part.
Great, great. So, before we conclude, right, any pro tip or advice you would love to give to our audience so that they can also get into valuation?
Yes, one thing I would like to say is we should have that extra thing to our resume, to ourselves, because everyone else is there are going to be a lot of competitors, there is going to be competition. So we need to make sure that we are doing that extra thing that supports our dreams only at the end of the day. So we can, like, for me, I did the ITC share price analysis report, I did my courses and all of those things. So this is actually it will make you stand out from the whole crowd. So this is actually needed. And of course, networking, the power of networking is really great, it is amazing. We need to work on that also.
Got
So
it.
yeah.
Great, great. And in fact, I used to say one of my favorite dialogue in the class, and that is network when you don't need it, because the time you need it, you don't need to network it. So it's very important to
Yeah.
work with right mindset of a people, and of course, you need a one right reference to get into one right company. So
Yeah.
it's time to network, right? The more you network, the better it becomes. So
Mm.
thanks, Ritika, for joining in. Right, definitely those who are watching this podcast, thank you all of you for watching in, and do not forget to check the link in the description. You'll find a lot of important links related to courses, and we have also created a community in WhatsApp so that you can get more updates related to any of the finance jobs, plus also important courses which are there. If you have any queries or doubts, do not hesitate to put it in the comment section. Right, we'll be happy to solve all of your queries. Thanks, Ritika, once again, and wish you all the best for your
Thank you.
career.
Thank you so much.